Everybody, we are back. It is Take Don't Lie. It is your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders, whatever you want to call it. We are back. It is another episode. We're getting ready for week 1, Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens, guys. We're getting some live football. It's excitement. We're getting live football here, everybody. So, like I said, you always want to subscribe, and go on Spotify. You want to download, you want to download on Spotify. You want to subscribe on iTunes to Silver and Black Pride, right? The podcast network, make sure you guys get all those notifications so we pop up for you right when that episode drops. And, of course, on the YouTube, do the same thing, right? Get the notifications on, like the video. If you're new here, like the video, go ahead, subscribe and dislike it if you don't, and then leave a comment either way, like we always say. And then follow me on Twitter at the Mark John NFL. And we got at BD Williams 18, right? And then don't forget Manscaped, right? Go ahead, make sure it's the weekend, guys. It's the weekend. Go ahead and get them orders for next weekend, because I know you guys want to be prepared. Maybe it could be a date night, could be something. And like I said, it doesn't have to be just for the balls. It could be for everything. So, it's a good shaver actually for everything too as well. So go ahead and check that out. I mean, go get some deodorant, $9.99. Like I said, go get some underwear, nice little shirt. The shirts are cheap, so you go ahead and use that discount code TDL, and make sure you guys use that. Help us land that deal for us, right? But back to football, guys.
So hold on, I can't even lie. I'm wearing the Manscaped boxers right now. And incredibly comfortable.
They're comfortable, dog.
Probably the nicest boxers I own at this point, and they were free. It just goes to show you how cheap I am when it comes to buying underwear, which I might have to rethink that, going forward. And then how do you think this head gets so shiny? Okay, I manscaped my dome.
Okay.
All right, hey, I'm telling you, it works. It works. But yeah, let's jump to football. Okay, so their football kicked off last night, right? So it's in the air. In Raiders fans, we have the longest wait because Raiders are playing Monday against the Ravens. So that's what this show is going to be about for all the listeners, for all the audience. We're going to be breaking down what we expect it to look like. What are some problems on both sides of the ball that the Raiders are going to have to contend with, because Baltimore schematically and on a talent level, but schematically is a really good team.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of the best teams in the NFL. I mean, they haven't missed the playoffs since Lamar Jackson took over and they got rid of franchise Flacco. Is Flacco top 5? We all found out that was not true. And they replaced him with Lamar Jackson, and they haven't missed the playoffs since. So this is a playoff team. They're going to come well coached, well prepared. They're going to play special teams well. There's a lot of, they're going to be a sound football team, regardless of all the injuries. And all the injuries are starting to pile up on them, right? And they're piling up. We're on the backup running back. You know what I mean? But you can't sleep on that run game. The guy's still controlling the mesh point. He's still playing, and he's the Lord at it. So we're going to see the guy who you never know where the football is when he's at that mesh point. So that's the issue that they'll be facing, regardless who the running back is Lamar Jackson is still the focal point, and the offense. He's based the whole offense. I mean, to be honest, he's the whole offense.
Well, we'll get into it. I got an article. Get into that, yeah. I got an article dropping tomorrow, about how, yes, Lamar Jackson is a straw that stirs the drink on offense, but the offense doesn't begin and end with Lamar Jackson. They got other wrinkles that you really utilize and weaponize the threat of Lamar Jackson. That's how they get the rest of their offense going. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be breaking down the Ravens offense, how they hurt teams generally, what the Raiders are going to have to do in order to avoid that. And then what are you going to be breaking down?
So I'm going to be breaking down the Ravens defense, of course. It's mostly going to be the Browns game. And the reason why I did the Browns from last year when they put up 42 on this defense, because the Browns are very similar to the Raiders, very heavy in 12 and 13 personnel. And I think that's kind of be, the way they play the Browns, I believe, is how they're going to play the Raiders. Because I think they're kind of similar West Coast offenses. and I think there's going to be a little bit of a advantage here for the Raiders once I get into it. So, but let's go ahead and just get into it. Let's just bounce, bro. Let's talk about what the Ravens are gonna have to deal with the Raiders offense and how the Raiders can attack the Ravens defense, right? So, I mean, the first things first, guys. I mean, throw to Darren Waller. And the reason why I say this is that the Ravens have given up 82 receptions to tight ends last year. It's 11th in the league, and they basically kind of just don't cover them. It's just a weird type of thing. Like, you got Travis Kelce here, right? They're going to be sending 5. Okay, they're sending 5. Right, but it ends up in cover 3 in the back end, but that wide open middle, right, for Travis Kelce coming off of that wide position, lined up in line, it's right there. It's wide open, right? And you just see it here again, right? Eric Ebron this time, he had 11 catches against the Ravens in 2 games, right? 7 catches in this last game I'm showing you guys right here, right? And you're gonna see, like, the linebacker, he just kind of makes a bad play, but that's Eric Ebron winning as well, and him getting confused, expecting somebody else to be there, and he's not there. It doesn't work out for them with those type of when they do blitzes and they're not able to handle tight ends on the back end, right? So we're gonna see it here. We're gonna see a little Raiders stuff. We got a little choice. We got a little looky, right? We got a choice looky here with Travis Kelce. And this is what I'm talking about. They're going to be blitzing again here, right? They're going to be sending around 5 on this one. But now you got Travis Kelce isolated with the free play outside to the flat with a nice gain. And that leads into a nice transition. The flats are open against this defense because they play so much off coverage, and they play a lot of cover 3 behind the blitz, or they play off coverage cover 1, and it leaves the flats open for easy completions. And Derek Carr is going to take these flats, so there's really no way around it. You're going to see him hit these flats, and that's a fumble by Rashad Higgins, but the flat is open there against that coverage, right? You're going to see it again right here. You're going to send us to the tight end kind of release late against the kind of cover 3 coverage right there, right? And David Njoku's wide open, but Baker Mayfield drops his eyes. But that's a big play. If he sees that, he's probably still running right now. He's still running. David Njoku could run. But those flats are wide open. All right, guys, they just leave those flats open all day. And even just short passes. You see it once again right here, right? They're passing off players, but there's 88 wide open, right, for a first down. Of course, Baker Mayfield doesn't see it once again because of the pressure from our new teammate there, Yannick Ngakoue, right? I probably said that wrong, but Yannick making plays back there. Let's watch Yannick, bro. Right? Anyways, back to this. All right. Also, stick with the run. All right, guys, stick with the run because they got a big man inside, right? Number 98, Mr. Williams. Okay. He is a big monster inside, and he can blow up all outside zone plays, right? But the Ravens still gave up 4.6 yards per carry, right, last season. And what happened is the Ravens get up on teams quick, so they have to pass, and they get out of the run, right? But you want to keep attacking this run defense, because I think you could start to bleed through them, especially in the red zone, okay? Because in the red zone, you see this inside zone run right here. In the red zone, they're 18th in the league in red zone percentage touchdowns, right? So you see this inside zone one more time again, right? It gets a good push. There's nobody back there. Their corners aren't the greatest tacklers in the world, even though Marcus Peters isn't playing. You want these safeties back there to just try to tackle, right? So you want to get to that second level. But in the red zone, these safeties and corners really have to tackle, and you're able to run the football and get some touchdowns. Okay, but let's get to the real stuff, right? This is what we all want to talk about, Marcus. You're showing all this other stuff. Let's talk about their blitzes, right? What do they do when they blitz, right? Holy blitz, because it's pretty crazy, and I think a lot of these are just exotic blitzes. So you got hit this one right here. You're gonna be sending the corner Marlon Humphrey, and you got the linebacker dropping up in coverage. Okay, so Marlon Humphrey sells this really well. He definitely looks like he's about to cover the player in the slot right there, right? And then this is later on in the game. So Baker Mayfield, he's seeing these linebackers lined up. He's expecting
them to all come and drop, but the linebacker drops right into the drop right there and picks it off, right? And that's something Derek Carr has to avoid. He cannot get into a pre-snap read with these type of things, right? He's gonna have to read things after the snap, okay? Because after the snap, if he's making decisions pre-snap, it's gonna be a long day for him. So he's gonna have to read and be calm under pressure. All right. So see it one more time. See the splits one more time, right? Because it's just so beautiful. I just like watching this.
Intercepted, Tyus Bowser, right? So I mean, it's gonna be some exotic things you're gonna be seeing over and over again, guys. Especially some of these blitzes that Greg Williams ran against the Raiders back in week 13 with the Jets. You're gonna see some of these blitzes that they run too, right? Because I mean, this one was like that's a stunt with that blitz as well. You saw 90 stunning as well in that blitz. So they get creative, and this is the one I was talking about, right? Greg Williams did for 2 sacks against the Raiders last year, right? So you're gonna see 49. He's basically gonna come. He's gonna block 77. All right. So 49 is gonna come down. He's gonna block 77 basically and open it up for Calais Campbell. So you're gonna see this right here, and the Jets did this to perfection last year and caused so much pressure, right? But Baker Mayfield's able to get out of the pocket, get a nice little gain there, right? But that is something that the Ravens do well, is they do that blitz a couple times. They did this blitz as well, right? So what you're gonna see here is they're gonna play 4-on-3, right? So you got 4. So you see the corner number 32, and you have these 2 other linemen on the right side. They're gonna drop, and they're gonna play 4-on-3, right? So basically, they're gonna force Kareem Hunt to try to make this block, but Kareem Hunt, he goes to the wrong direction. He reads it wrong, right? That's third down. That's third down too, guys, right? So now it's 4th down. That's crazy, blitz, right? And they're gonna do the same thing here, right? So they're gonna create that matchup where it's 4-on-3, right? And then if the running back stays, I mean, yeah, it becomes 4-on-4. But if the quarterback doesn't see it, it's 4-on-3, right? You would expect Derek Carr to see those kind of blitzes. I mean, he's not Baker Mayfield. When those guys start creeping up, you would start to see that, but. That's the Ravens, man. I mean, the Ravens are pretty exotic. I don't know. BD has some thoughts. He probably can give you some more in depth with that defense. But I mean, you can just kind of see the way that they move and the way that they move players around on that defensive line, the stunts they run, the way that they create blitzes. Because I will say this, I think talent-wise, they aren't that good on the defensive line when it comes to like pure pass rush. Like if they have to rush with 4, I don't think they're that good. Their best rusher last year was Yannick, and he's on the Raiders now. And then Matt Judon was probably the second one, and he's gone. So they're really left to like Tyus Bowser. They're left to Owe from the Penn State. They're left to guys like that who are brand new, right? I mean, and Owe didn't get a sack at Penn State last year. He's more of a big run defender, blow up the play as a run defender. He has a lot of upside as a pass rusher, but he's got a lot of work. I mean, he's not ready to go to kind of just dominate from week 1, right? And so you expect the defense to make a lot of packages and make a lot of different blitzes to kind of generate pressure, right? But the thing is that they do it so much that if you have a good quarterback that is smart and can pick, his spots to hit the short passes and hit the deep passes, you can move the football on this team if you understand what's going on and understand your checks. And especially with Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller is going to be a big part of this game. I think they're going to target him like 17 times. I think he's going to get a bunch of targets. It's going to be like a 10-catch game for him, and it should be, in my opinion, based on how they play tight ends. They act like they don't exist really to me. I mean, when you watch them on tape, they just let them roam free, because what they believe is that you're not going to be able to get that pass off in time. I really feel like that's kind of like their thought process, especially with how much off they play. Like, I feel like they just kind of just give up everything short, and they're like, we'll be able to rally and tackle, or that thought process. It's just an interesting scheme to me, because I haven't seen that much off coverage in the NFL. So it feels like it's very exploitable, but they give up 18 points a game. So it's interesting. But when they play good quarterbacks, though, I think that kind of makes a difference, in my opinion, because I think that's why eventually, I mean, Baker Mayfield, he's a good quarterback. I know he's not seeing those blitzes. I mean, he should be seeing Elliott, especially the second one. I mean, the first one, okay, bro. All right, fine. That's, you didn't see it. The second one when Elliott's creeping up, bro, and you kind of see the alignment, you got to point and get Kareem Hunt out there, give you some time to make that play, in my opinion. But I will say, like, Carr's going to see some of those things too. He's going to see some of those blitzes, and he's going to be able to point them out and make it happen. And he's going to give himself more time to get some of these passes off that's going to be open in the back end, especially in the middle of the field. So I think it's going to be a big day for Darren Waller. That's going to be the key for this game, is to feed Darren. They also can't give up on the run game, like I said, because they're going to have some negative runs. They just are, because Williams is going to blow it up. They're going to have some negative runs. So if they can get past the negative runs and keep running the football, especially in the red zone, I think they have a chance to put up some points in this game. I don't think they're going to get blown out unless the offensive line is absolutely awful. I mean, and even if that, I still think Derek Carr is to be able to get the ball off on time into these guys with yak in space and force these DBs to tackle. So,
yeah. And I think you did a good job of illustrating, some like what they're good at and what makes them dangerous. Like they will run every blitz in the book, and the pressure, if a team decides that they want to pass all game, pressure is going to be constant. It's a real headache for the offensive line to continually try to pick up all of these different types of looks that they're going to see from game in and game out. So I really think that, along with targeting Darren Waller, throwing the ball to the flat when they need to, just running the ball and not letting these guys get into every blitz look conceivable. Like that's what one of the emphasis should be, in the game, because when you're running the ball, you're constantly running the ball. It just really limits what you can do as a defensive coordinator. When you're constantly passing the ball, or you're behind the sticks and it's like a 3rd and long, now your entire defense is opened up. Your entire playbook is opened up, and and they do as good of a job as any team, being able to get into all the different blitz looks while not losing execution on the back end. Like they're going to execute, even though they have a big volume in terms of their blitz calls, they're still going to execute it really well. So don't play into their hands by passing the ball all game, would be one thing I was going to say. And then the other thing I was going to say is, this guy, Marlon Humphrey, he's a problem. I mean, he's amongst like people who watch like cornerback film, I know that he's in the national media, or just like when you see lists of guys, you're going to see Trey White, you're going to see Jalen Ramsey, you're going to see Stephon Gilmore. You're not going to see Marlon Humphrey's name in that mix, but he belongs there. He travels with the team's best wide receiver. He can play outside, he can play inside, he can play man, he can play zone. He doesn't have like a bunch of interceptions to his name, which I think is one of the reasons, I guess, why I just went on the Raiders for Dummies podcast, I think it was the Baltimore Beatdown podcast, and we're talking about Marlon Humphrey, why he doesn't get enough recognition. But this guy, he's a phenomenal player, top 5 corner in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see if they use him to maybe try to take away Darren Waller, and that would be just an absolute heavyweight slugfest if that's what is going to happen.
I still think it's a little bit of a mismatch, because I mean Marlon Humphrey, he's not the tallest corner in the world. He's not like a huge corner, and I think that's why he had a little bit of issue with AJ Brown last year. I think that's like that physicality can get to him. Because he wasn't like out of position on those plays, but sometimes when you're just have that big guy on you, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that. Like I really feel like they're not going to travel with Darren Waller, which you would think they would. But can you travel with him in line? You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like, especially with this kind of team, right? I think John Gruden, I don't know how much he's going to put Darren Waller out there where Marlon Humphrey could guard him. Like, it would be smarter kind of to keep him in line. So, because they're not going to bring Marlon Humphrey to the box to play run, like that would be, that would kind of be a little dangerous too. So,
the other thing, the other thing to note as well, when a corner travels, okay, that means other defenders are having to switch spots as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think, oh, yeah, he can travel. No, that means the entire defense is like shifting and like taking, like if the corner travels to the slot, that means that whoever's playing over the slot previously, he has to go somewhere else and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
When you have an injury to Marcus Peters, now that makes it a little bit more difficult for you as a defensive coordinator to say, okay, yeah, this is how we're gonna play this week. When your starting corner goes down, because we don't know if that guy who's backing him up is going to be capable of handling the extra responsibility that gets pushed on the rest of the defense when a corner does travel. So we will see. It's going to be super interesting to see like what their game plan is going to be for Darren Waller, certainly. And if they really hone in on him, they're down a corner, someone like Henry Ruggs or Brian Edwards needs to also get some burn if they're really trying to take away Darren Waller. So we will see about that.
Yeah, I think Hunter Renfrow is going to have a little, not a great game, but he's got like that 5-catch, 45-yard game that's going to be effective and move the sticks because
4 first downs, 5 catches,
45 yards, 4 first downs.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, the short part and the inside of the way they play, the way they play their cover 3 and all the looks they have. I mean, they're giving up the flats, man. I mean, and Derek Carr's going to take it. And I'd rather the Ravens and the DBs. I mean, that's why they have trouble in the red zone with the run game because they're not the greatest tackling DBs in the world. So they have a little bit of trouble of tackling in the red zone. So you're able to run the ball down there, right? And even this team is based on Yak. So I mean, I think they're gonna be able to move the football in this. I don't think they're gonna have a problem moving the football in this game, to be honest. It might not be like the huge chunk plays or huge throws downfield that people want to see. It might be a little bit of a dink and dunk game.
Yeah.
But I think they'll take their shots when they think they can. But I mean that's the best way to play this team. I think is kind of be meticulous. Run the football too a little bit, but make sure that you are just moving the football. And I think that's kind of, keep Lamar Jackson off the field a little bit too, as well. And also they gotta get up on him fast, man. I think that they gotta get, we want to see how good this pass team can be, right? We want them to start passing. I mean, in my opinion, that's kind of what you want because they want to run the ball and get up on you, but you're going to get into that. But
yeah. So there's one more thing that I wanted to say. I forgot to say it earlier before we move on. So the brand of defense that they play is not to stop you from moving down the field. Really, it's not. They want you to make mistakes on defense. They want turnovers. They want splash plays. Okay. And they want you to get into like a 3rd and long situation where you're having to force the ball into an exotic look. Okay. With an exotic blitz coming on top of it, right? That's the type, so they have no problem like letting teams matriculate down the field. Their issue, like what they want to do is get that turnover, get that sack, get that interception, punch the ball out, whatever it is. That's the brand of defense that they play. It's actually very exciting to watch. Okay.
Yeah. It is.
But at the same time too, they're going to give up big plays. Raiders are going to score on them. The question is going to become, are they going to be able to win that turnover battle? Are they going to keep the ball?
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
That's what they really prey on, So especially if you got like a drive from the Ravens offense where they're running the ball, it's like 10, 12, 13-yard runs. Okay. And they hit you with the play action pass and all of a sudden they score and the defense is kind of like downtrodden. And then the Ravens defense comes out there and takes the ball away 2-3 plays later. And then your defense has to get back out there. It's like, okay, you could be in the tide of the game could swing in just a few minutes with the style of defense that they play. So protecting the football, Derek Carr's got to do that when he has to pass for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, hitting those flats and, hitting those kind of, those quick, short throws, get the ball out of his hand, I think will work. It'll work in this game.
I agree.
They gotta be meticulous, basically. They can't try to like attack these guys like and try to throw over their heads with deep passes. And I'm not saying they shouldn't. They got to take him at certain, probably more on first down more than anything. But on third down, I think they got to keep it to third and shorts. Keep it like they usually do, so they can hit those flats and hit those those quick throws, so they can get some first downs.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Support for this episode of Tape Don't Lie is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who have trusted Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TDL at manscaped.com. That's TDL at manscaped.com.
All right, dude.
All right, so let's transition into, this is like the burning topic, right? Everyone wants to know about Lamar Jackson. How do the Raiders stop the Ravens? Okay, it's this entire offense is like built on the threat of the QB run. Okay, so first and foremost, running back runs are the biggest part of this offense. You got to be able to stop the run here. Okay, Browns had a really tough time. If you look at this linebacker has Lamar Jackson, that leaves 8 blockers on 7 defenders. You're not going to get a +1 in the run game when Lamar Jackson, and someone has to beat a block here. Someone has to get off a block. You see the front side support doing it right, but the backside, everyone gets washed down. No defensive lineman get off a block there, okay? Your secondary run support also has to be flawless, okay? You see here, there should be a vice tackle here, okay? But look at this linebacker. He goes and he jumps in front of this instead of going back door on that block, okay? And now you have 2 guys over the top, but no one vicing it from the outside, okay? And when any of these guys, it doesn't really matter. It could be Tyson Williams, it could be Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray, it doesn't matter. You give a running back that lane, they're going to take it, okay? Here's another example. They're going duo right here. This linebacker needs to hit this hole. He needs to go fast, but he's hesitant, and this guard has time to get off that block, creates a crease, touchdown. Okay, now this is what it should look like. Okay, you're a defensive lineman. You got to beat some offensive linemen off blocks. Like this is like it's simple as that. Okay, now this is an example, and I wrote an article. I think it's going to drop tomorrow on Silver and Black Pride. Okay, it's about this QB bash, and right now there's 2 options here. There's either the sweep or the QB counter. Okay, and you see both this linebacker and this defensive end. They're keying Lamar Jackson's inside run, and no one's there to stop the sweep. Okay, so now let's talk about their QB bash. Their bash / QB counter game. Okay, now this is that same exact look, but this time Lamar Jackson keeps it on the QB counter. Okay, and you give this guy an inch, he'll take a mile. Okay, now check this out. You got 2 guys now keying the sweep. Okay, the bash sweep. This linebacker thinks, oh, I'm vicing this with another. Nope. That linebacker's nowhere to be found. Okay, so you have to play assignment football. 2 people can't be doing the same job. It's easier said than done. Okay, here's another example. 2 guys keying the bash sweep. They're trying to play a man and a half in the run game. You can't do that. You got to go 1 for 1, and everyone has to have an assignment. Okay, so here's what it should look like. Okay, you got this defensive end playing the QB keep. Okay, and it's forcing Lamar Jackson to cut back. Defensive lineman, this guy right here, he's able to get off a block, create a tackle. That's what it looks like, assignment football. Another way that teams have done it, I don't think that the Raiders are going to do it, is that they'll charge the mesh point with the defensive ends. Okay, and that has proven to be successful against Lamar Jackson in this look. So we'll see if that's what the Raiders end up doing. Now we also have to worry about another series run called QB sweep or inside counter, the power read. Okay, now this time Lamar Jackson is going to keep the sweep play. Okay, and we're good here, except for this force player who's blocked all the way off the screen right here, makes this a really wide alley and a really tough job for that safety to do. Okay, Raiders struggled against a similar look. Okay, in preseason, we got a force player here, but this time there's no pursuit. Okay, so it's not just good enough for one guy to do their job. Everyone has to do their job. Here's what it should look like. Okay, we got a QB sweep. We got a pursuit player here, and he's spilling it to the force player. Everyone's doing their job, strings this run out, okay, in run support, make him string it out, run him out of bounds for a 2-yard gain. Here's another example. Okay, look, we got the force player here, and he's funneling it back to the pursuit. Okay, Lamar Jackson has to take a dive. All right, okay, similar concept here. right? We got a force player here, not letting Lamar Jackson get to the edge, turning this upfield back to his pursuit. That's how you have to stop the QB sweep. Okay. Now, play action pass is something that can be really deadly. We have this similar kind of bash, sweep run action. Okay, but we're running play action pass on top of it. And everyone knows, if you watch my videos, weak hook curl player has 3 vertical, but when you're also looking at the run action in the backfield, makes it tough. Okay, so that guy got turned around there. Now they'll also run, they'll run every type of play action. We see here again in cover 3. Okay, this corner at the bottom of the field is just giving way too much cushion and does not react quick enough to that. Don't let these guys get loose on you. Okay, when you are running a cover 3, these linebackers have to honor the run action. So you can't give 5, 6, 7 yards of separation to these guys across the middle, because they will eat you up like this. The linebackers will be keying the run all game long. Okay. The last part is the QB scramble. This is something that just elevates his offense. Okay. When Lamar Jackson can get on the move, he has the vision and the touch, okay, to make plays along with his, incredible athleticism for the quarterback position. Okay. When he starts getting outside the pocket and moving, he can make big plays happen with his arm. Okay. It's not going to be, the 65-yard balls on a frozen rope. It's going to be, things with just a little bit more touch, but he still has great accuracy outside of the pocket. He can make you pay when he drops back and it's just a pass play. The defensive ends cannot allow him to escape the pocket. They need to stay in their rush lanes, okay, or else he can make something like this happen. Touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a tough offense, and I think that what they do beautifully, as beautiful as any team in football, is that whatever run play they have a designed QB keep option. And then they will also marry that to a play action concept. Okay. So it's all like in the same concept. So the same concept family has QB run option and a play action pass. And they'll have like 4 or 5 of these different kind of series that they run throughout a game. Okay. And it puts a lot of stress on the linebackers. The next part that puts a lot of stress on the linebackers is all the motions and shifts and window dressing that is going on. You're going to have H-backs, you're going to have tight ends, you're going to have Y off, he's going to motion to the other side of the field. All of a sudden it sets the run strength is different. It's a huge headache. Like when I watch this, not saying that like I could game plan against any, NFL offense.
Yeah.
But like this is like the one that really just gives me a lot of stress, just like thinking about like what the rules would be on defense. Like how do you draw this up and explain it? And especially because they know they're going to have certain plays, right? Where if a team plays them like this, okay, that play won't work, but another play that they have will. Okay. So they'll hit you with that one. So I think that honestly, if you can do it, if it's possible, and it's I keep on saying easier said than done, but if you can mix up the way that your unblocked player, what he does, if he's surfing, okay, and playing that QB or that inside run, if that's a running back or the QB, whoever it is, if he's playing the inside run and you have a scrape exchange on the backside, okay, and you mix that with someone actually charging the mesh point, okay, and responsible for now the outside runs, I think that you'd have a little bit more success. But when you start changing up how the unblocked player does it, that means other guys' responsibilities change as well, whether or not they have the inside run or the outside run in the option. And that's when you see when you see teams trying to like get cute like that, that's when you see teams have like breakdowns in their plan. And that's when this this offense, they'll hit you for a huge run. And that's really backbreaking. And it's very rare, I would say. It's only like a few teams that are able to stop them, prevent them from getting 2, 3, 4 big chunk gains in a game. And usually like that's the difference.
Yeah, man, that QB bash, man, that counter, man, I swear he literally has like 5 touchdowns just off that play. They're like 50 yards. It is wild. Like, I mean, it's like one of their go-to plays, and you have to be ready for it. And a lot of teams, they still get confused because he's just so good at that mesh point. I mean, he's so good at selling the fake too. Like that's the missing piece of a lot of it. Like people are like, oh, you could figure out Lamar. Like, well, you can't even figure out where the ball is. How you figure out where the ball is first before you could decide where to stop him. And then even if you do figure it out, you have to tackle him, which is not easy either. That's the thing. Like, so he's not going to slide either. He's not going to slide. He's trying to score. So he's going to try to juke the whole team and score. That's his thought process. Like, he's not sliding. He's not going to try to preserve his body. He is going to go try to score every time he touches that football. And that's his mentality. That's his mentality is that every time I touch the football, I'm going to score. Yeah. And he believes it too. And if you miss your tackles, you're not sound tackling, it's going to be a long day, no matter what. You can talk about him. He can't throw, whatever you want to say. It don't matter, man. Because I mean, every time he touches the football, he's thinking touchdown, and that's pass or run. And he's not going down. That means if he gets in a scramble situation, he sees a lane where he can go, because his pocket feel is ridiculous. That's probably my favorite thing about him is he feels everything. Like he doesn't, like with how much he runs, he doesn't take as many sacks as like somebody like Russell Wilson does, or Kyler Murray, even when he does play, because he has such a great feel. He feels everything. He knows where to go. And that's what makes him dangerous too. That's why you're talking about staying in your pass lanes, because you make the wrong move. I mean, he's going to get out of there because he's going to feel it. And then, the Titans game, the Titans touchdown is like the perfect example where he stepped back there and he saw it and he just took off, and 56 yards later, they're right back in that game. And it's just one play. You could sleep on him and try to think what people think what they want, but like, I mean, he is not an easy out at all, bro. It is not. He is no joke. He's no joke.
It is so much stress on your defense. You have to be, every link in the chain has to do their job. It just takes, and most of those clips that I showed you, it was just like one guy not doing their job, and it's a huge play.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. So like getting all 11 guys to do like play assignment football, to know like who their guy is against that concept, and being able to like process it like so as quickly as it all works out, because there's no one as savvy in all of football at the mesh point than Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's been playing like these option, reads his entire life. It's like going up against that high school option quarterback. We went up against, oh man, he played for the Ravens. He was a corner for the Ravens. But he killed us in high school. He was just running all over us, and it was just like, he's the best athlete on the field, and he has the ball in his hands every single, like that's what it is. But it's like now it's at the NFL level, so it's like even that much more impressive. So like his ability at the mesh point to kind of like make that decision in a split second, even if he is predetermining where the ball's going to go based on the pre-snap look. It's just unheard of, like, for someone to do these things at the level that he's doing it. Like, he's really kind of changing almost like how option football works, just with like how good he is at it. And maybe we'll never see someone for a long time be as good at this as he is, so it just puts on so much stress on the defense.
It's crazy. Keep going, bro.
No, go ahead. I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
One thing I do want to point out, I think with him is, I pointed out that he always wants to score a touchdown. And I think when you get him in passing situations, you have to play into that, because you want to make him be, we're talking about the Raiders being meticulous. You want to make Lamar Jackson try to be meticulous, because one, he doesn't want to be. Like, he's going to pass up plays. Like, when you do that touchdown against the Cowboys on the run, to Marquise Brown, I mean, the spot concept was open into his right side, right? I mean, he could have went to that flat on that play, could have went to the flat on that spot concept, but he passed it up and he went the other way and threw it a 20-yard touchdown. So you have to try to make him be meticulous. And I think that's what the Bills did. That's probably my favorite thing about the Bills did. They made him be meticulous. Like, you are not going to get your deep passes off. You're going to sit back there and you're going to, throw your check downs. You're going to hit their flats. That's what you're going to do today. And they dictated the game that way because they also were able to stop the run. So,
yeah, I agree. Like, keep him in the pocket. When he does pass the ball, and keep everything in front of you.
Yeah,
make him check it down. Let's see if like that's a part of his game that has improved, because certainly if you try to cover everything, he has the vision. He has like that ability to see the field, and when he sees an open space, he's going to throw there. So make the open spaces be short stuff, please. Like,
exactly.
That's
100%. Yeah. Because he doesn't have a problem reading the field. That's why a lot of people act like he can't read the field. He reads the field fine. Like, he's a good quarterback.
Someone says
like,
that, okay, you do that. You do that. Okay, let's see what you got.
He reads the field perfectly fine. Like, it's not his issue. But that's what I'm saying. Like, his issue is outside the numbers, right? He just some accuracy issues outside the numbers. That's fine. But I think the bigger issue is that he doesn't check down. So if you are able to do what the Bills did and kind of just keep everything in front of you and make him, I'm not gonna say play quarterback, but play the boring part of quarterback, play the Tom Brady version, right?
Right.
Because they're not gonna play that against Tom Brady, because Tom Brady's gonna take it. He's just gonna dick and dunk you for, he'll throw 55 times for 340 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? He won't care. But Lamar Jackson, he cares, man. He will score every play. So that's and it's a mentality you like. I mean, that's why they score 30 points a game, right? But it's also a mentality you can play on, that you can stop that and stop that whole offense. But you got to stop the run first. I mean, the pass is secondary, to be honest. Right. If you can't stop the run, it won't even matter.
Stop the run first, get a lead, and then let's see.
That's the goal. That's how That's really how you beat them. Because they're really not a come from behind team. Like,
they're playing with the
he doesn't have a lot of like comeback drives and comeback wins. And no, they just go up on you 30-10, and what BD's talking about, they get a bunch of turnovers. The next thing you know, you're down 31-0.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you have to pass the ball against this freaking crazy blitz defense. Good luck not making a mistake, when it comes to that.
Exactly. So that's their play. But if you get up on them and you make them have to come back, so
right.
That's the game. Yeah.
That's the game plan. This is a great matchup for the Raiders. Like, this is a great litmus test to see, how they, and even like you look at the Dallas Cowboys, they played last night, right? And they lost, right? But they brought it to the Super Bowl champions. Like, they look good doing it, like, obviously there was mistakes on both sides, and you could say like there was a blown call at the end, and maybe even the Dallas Cowboys should have won, but like, they stood in there, right? And they showed like, okay, they do belong. Like, they're not the Cowboys of last year, right? So and so like, at least they can go away from that game thinking like, okay, our team showed something. And I'm not saying like there's gonna be a moral victory if the Raiders lose, but it's a great litmus test regardless of the result, to see like how the Raiders like stack up against one of the top flight NFL teams, coming off like this offseason where all these changes were made on the offensive line, on the defense. So they have a tough task in front of them. I'm super excited to see it. But anything else that we want to talk about before we get out of here?
Nothing else, man. I do want to talk about Carr's Pro Football Reference picture. If you're a fan, go look at that, man. Go look up Derek Carr Pro Football Reference.
Okay, hold on. Let me look it up while we're on. So let me get my raw reaction. Okay.
Go look at that picture, bro. Get yourself a little bit hyped for the season.
I have Pro Football Reference bookmarked on my browser. Okay. What's special about this?
He's not smiling.
He's not smiling. Wait, this is like the new, like they do the updated pictures for every year. Wow. Okay. Gosh, that's
the first time in API call. 7 years. He ain't smiling.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's had it. He's had it with social media bashing him,
Yeah, it's a I'm tired of losing look. Okay. So I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay, all right.
I like that.
Nobody's smiling this today, huh? Nobody's smiling.
Okay, I like that.
You looked the year before. He's like,
Go look it up. Go look it up. You know, that's it. That's it from us, guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate Raider Nation. We appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing us, you know, helping this channel grow. Make sure, you know, if you're listening to this on Spotify, on Apple, on Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you download this episode and hit subscribe so all the episodes can be downloaded to your device. And to the YouTube audience, you guys are awesome. Hit subscribe, tell your parents, tell your family, friends, tell your neighbors, tell everyone about Tape Don't Lie, and help watch this channel take off. That's it, Raider Nation. We appreciate you. I'll let you.
Peace.